Hello, friends. Welcome to Two Gals in a Book podcast.
So take one.
Take one. Hopefully the only
One
take.
and only.
We are beginning. We are Lily and Araceli, and today we are talking to you about The Last Days of Marilyn Monroe, a book written by James Patterson and Imogen Edwards Jones.
Mm-hmm.
We chose Marilyn to talk about today because it's Women's Day. So we wanted to honor one of the most iconic women in Hollywood. Today, we are at Griffith Park, which is one of the sites mentioned in the book. Marilyn did a photo shoot in her early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why we are here. Remember that in this podcast, we go page by page, we skip a few,
Mm-hmm.
and in the process, we learn a little bit about us, and hopefully you learn a little bit about you. Lily will give us a summary of
I
the
can
book.
give you a quick summary.
Yes, just so you know.
And like all books, they do take us on an adventure. And boy,
Oh yes, today
we've
has
been
been
on
quite
an
a day.
adventure today. We started off early. We
Mhm.
picked Araceli up almost at 7.
Mhm.
We drove to the Roosevelt Hotel.
Mhm.
And then
Where else did we go? We had
the cemetery.
Yes.
The
Yes.
cemetery
We went to
where
visit Marilyn.
we saw the mausoleum where she's at. We went to eat because we were starving, and we went to this diner. What was it called? Fred 62.
Fred 62. We weren't planning to tell you about it, but
I will, because why 62? It just right now dawned on us that that's the year she died.
Yes.
The connection. Without wanting to, we were just looking for a spot to eat, and 62 jumped at us.
Yeah, we kind of ended up there because, well, it was a coincidence, but also we were very hungry.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah, it had nothing to do with us. If we would have researched, it would not have worked out.
Yeah.
But it worked out. So Marilyn Monroe, and something we just it just dawned on us that this June 1st, this year, she would have been 100 years old.
She was born in 1926.
1926. So this book is The Last Days of Marilyn Monroe. Right off the bat, it starts off with her dying. And we know she took a lot of pills. So it was definitely written off as a suicide. But then it does take you to the her beginnings of how she became the icon, that the woman that she was in her 20s and her 30s, and then towards the end of her life. So it does take us through a tour, really, of her life, her short, very sad life. We learned a lot about her. I actually did. I didn't know much about her life, and the many people that she came across that shaped her life and contributed to who she was by the time she died. So let's jump in, because we do have a lot, and we do want to go and do some more stuff today, and it's Sunday.
So I'd like to start right off the bat with the introductory quote. Hollywood is a place where they'll pay you $1,000 for a kiss and 50 cents for your soul. I know, because I turned down the first offer often enough and held out for the 50 cents. And this is Marilyn Monroe speaking from an autobiography, I guess, that was done called My Story. So this is something that we will see throughout the book. She hungers for love, and she never truly gets it.
No.
Despite being considered one of the most beautiful women in the world, in the history of the world.
Yeah, that's sad. So chapter 1, that is when it's August 5th, 1962. The early morning, when her housekeeper or maid, right, that lives there, finds her. And then the story begins with calling the people close to her, the doctors, to come in and pretty much see her and try to revive her and pronounce her dead at the scene.
But before that, in chapter 2, page 9, Marilyn says, "Men don't see me, they just lay their eyes on me." So she continuously repeats this throughout the book. Like she's seen as a sex symbol, but they don't see who she is as a person. This is something that she complains about throughout her life, throughout her life.
On page 20, what do you have?
Go ahead.
Oh, page 20. So when the house that she died in is the last house, obviously, that she was in, but I think it's the first house she ever purchased for herself. And there was a sign on the entrance, and the doctor looks down at the tiles set into a flagstone. One bears a small coat of arms and 2 words in Latin, Cursum Perficio. And he says and translates the inscription, "My journey's end." Um, and I was thinking, wow, what a coincidence! This was already there when she moved in, when she bought it, and this is where she ends. Her journey ended there. So for many, they can translate it like, okay, this is it. My journey ends here because this is my home, my final home. But for her, I think it's her journey ended. Her life ended there. Whether she intended for it to end there or not, we don't know, because that was one of the mysteries of the book. It's a mystery, her death and her the hours leading up to it of her death. So I just thought it was really interesting, the sign that was there already for her. Like it was meant for her. Yeah. I don't know where to put my Post-it. I'm gonna hold on to it.
What page?
Oh, still 21.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. The public and media were more interested in false things than the truth. So it was, I'll read this. Eunice Murray would stick to the story, but everyone who crossed the threshold that night would say something different. This is about finding Marilyn dead. How do you go about writing a life story? Marilyn once asked a journalist. Because the truth things rarely get into circulation. It's usually the false things. It's hard to know where to start if you don't start with the truth. But nobody was interested in that. And it's true, the public and the media were more interested in false things than the truth. And I think that's what sells. Gossip, right?
Sensationalism.
What is interesting.
Yeah.
Gossip myths overshadow her truth. And there was a lot of rumors about her and who she was with, and I feel like a lot of that stuff was answered for me in this book. And this is not, I mean, I wouldn't say it's fictional, right?
Well, it is a fictional book because there's a lot of thoughts and feelings that are expressed that we don't know if she really felt, right? But it's very well researched. If you've watched documentaries, read about Marilyn, like it's pretty accurate in terms of following that timeline. But I think it does a really good job of humanizing the woman that she was.
And there's a lot of sources that they put in here.
Well, yeah, pages and pages.
Pages, yes, about other books, about other articles about her. So they really did a good job about researching, like you said, the timeline, because it does take us from her beginnings to the very end. And so my question when I read that is, so do we get to read about the real Marilyn in this book? Now having finished the book, I feel like it did capture, for me at least, I feel like I understand now who the real Marilyn was, and it's very sad, a very sad story about her, I think.
And I think also visiting for us, right, Lily, today's been an interesting day. Visiting the places that she was at.
Yeah.
The Roosevelt Hotel, we saw the pool where she stood and took pictures. Now we're here at this part where she also did her photo shoot. We saw where she's buried.
Yeah.
Well, not buried, but it's not. It's a mausoleum.
It's a mausoleum.
Yeah. Literally, she's not buried, but where her body is laid to rest. So, just being in the places that she was at really does bring her to life in some way for us.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're
page
on
26. So something that I didn't know about her, it talks about her mom. Her mom didn't raise her. Her mom ended up in a mental institution, right? A psychiatric ward. And it talks about
schizophrenic, I think.
Some form of mental illness. And she talks about how her mom was born in Mexico. And that's something I didn't know. She was born in Piedras Negras, Coahuila in 1902. So that took me on another, first of all, that place is no longer, it's named something different now. But I wonder if Marilyn ever thought, I would like to go see where my mom was born, just to see where she comes from. I thought that was interesting.
That is not addressed in the book.
What?
Whether she did or not.
Right.
We don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know.
We don't know how in touch she was with her Mexican side, I guess. But I mean, we don't even know if her mom even lived there, right? Or she was just born
born there. Yeah, because it was minutes away from the U.S. side. Yeah. Her dad, she doesn't know much about her dad. But there's continuous search for knowing who he was
Mhm.
an approval and love
Yes.
from him. Yeah.
And she does supposedly find him. We'll probably address this.
Yeah.
And even in her fame, he doesn't make an effort to connect with her.
Even he has another family. Where are you at?
42.
Okay.
So I just, one of the first jobs that she did, by the way, in case you didn't know this, dear reader, her real name is Norma Jean. And one of the jobs she did was as a typist. And, you know, it kind of dates us, right? She mentions that she only did 35 words a minute, which is not a good typing record for any typist. I took typing lessons and I was able to do 80 a minute.
Oh, you remember that?
Yes, I remember that because I was a fast typist. So when she said that, I'm like, yeah, she's right. She was bad. 35 is not very fast. So she was not able to do that job well. Further on in that page, they talk about how she's such a natural in front of the cameras, and that it's so paradoxical that she is so good in front of the camera when she was not very confident in real life. And that's something that, you know, by looking at her in movies, in pictures, you would never know. And that's what photographers and cameramen said about her. That is pretty consistent.
Yeah.
It was just something about her being in front of a camera. Whereas, I don't know about you, Lily, but I still struggle.
Yes.
In front of this camera.
I do too. It's not easy.
It's not easy to sit here in front of you.
No.
Yeah, the cameras definitely are intimidating. Go ahead.
Page 45. So she gets married when she was 16 years old. She was in high school. She was in high school and she married somebody who I think was already out of high school. He might have been already 18. Somebody who had a car, drive her around, and so to get out of where she was, you know, she saw like, oh, I can marry so and so. And I think, was that this first husband?
Yeah.
Yes, it was the first husband, right? And he says, all this modeling business is fine because he was in the military, wasn't he? Yeah. He tells her, all this modeling business is fine, honey, but when I get out of the service, we're going to have a family and you're going to settle down. He kisses her. You can only have one career and a woman can't be in two places at once. And I just wrote, no.
We can be in many places.
Yes.
Not at once, but we go from one to the other.
Yeah, exactly. As Richard says, there's no such thing as multitasking. However, you know, this was 1930 something.
30.
And the men would think, oh, women are for the house,
belong in the home,
taking care of the children, taking care of the home. And she didn't believe that, right? But he did. So he thought he was going to come back and find a housewife. Nope. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Right after that, on page 47, we were talking about her dad, right? Marilyn says, to have no daddy or to have a daddy who doesn't love you at all. She says, and she doesn't know what is worse. And yes, we wonder how much that had to do with her psychological issues, right? The fact that she never got that love or attention or validation from her father.
Yeah.
And we really don't know.
Yeah.
We can only speculate on how much of that it had to do with her mental health.
Yeah, because she did struggle throughout, and we see it throughout the book. There was a lot of alcohol, a lot of pills involved. It's almost like self-medicating.
I think we're both on page 57.
Same thing.
So I'll read. The comment here is on Hollywood and marriage. Somebody, I'll remember who in a bit, says, no one wants a girl who's married. Movie studios don't employ married women. Why waste time and money promoting a girl who's going to leave and have babies when there are so many single girls in town who are desperate to work?
Yeah, she befriends this older man that she they're at a party. She's invited to this dinner party and she's up and coming, and this man, Sid Skolsky, it's I think because there's a lot of names.
Yeah.
He was almost like a mentor to her. She's still married to
the first husband.
The first husband, last name Doherty, still married. And so I don't think he was doing it to put her down. It's almost like, well, you're young and, you know, they're not going to employ someone who's married. Right. And at that time, and I just wrote, I'm not shocked about that because, of course, she's young and beautiful. And if they're looking for someone who's going to be available, they're going to look for someone who doesn't have any ties, right? So what does she do? She gets a divorce.
Yes.
From her first husband, and she was what, 18 or 19 at the time? Yeah.
And already one under her belt.
Yes.
Page 58. My marriage, says Marilyn, didn't make me sad, but it didn't make me happy either. My husband and I hardly spoke to each other. This wasn't because we were angry. We had nothing to say. I was dying of boredom. So just like you said, James Doherty was her first husband. She divorces him 2 weeks before she turns 20. They were married for less than 4 years. So and we will meet her other husbands as we go through these pages. But that was more a marriage of opportunity. She needed to get out of the situation she was in. She was living with, I think it was a friend of her mother's. So it wasn't the ideal situation. She was always at the mercy of somebody else. And this just seemed to be the best arrangement for her to marry this guy that showed interest in her. So she was not, like she clearly told us here, very sad about leaving this first husband. On page, you go first.
I have 62. So at that, we're still calling her Norma Jean.
Yes.
Norma Jean that's still her name. And like Araceli said, Grace McKee is her guardian at that time because mom was not there. And she was 21 years old at the time when she was offered a 6-month contract, and it paid $125 a week. So as her legal guardian, Grace McKee was thrilled. I was the one who believed in you. I was the one, she crows. So I was reading that. I was like, 21. She's still a minor. And I was reading as I do my research, and it wasn't until 1971 that 18-year-olds were not considered minors anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was 1971. So and I was thinking, well, maybe that should be the age. 18-year-olds, they're not ready to be adults, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure I read why was it because of voting? Because I don't know. I don't know why 1971 was when they changed it from 21 to 18.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And let's remember, like, it's for the drinking age is still 21, right?
Yeah.
So that has not changed. Whereas being considered an adult did.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe parents just wanted to get rid of their kids sooner.
Yeah, they're like 1970. Yep, this is a year.
Please give us a yes. Page 69. I found it interesting that there's certain details about our person that reveal our humble origins. So here they're talking about Marilyn's appearance. Her hair and makeup are perfectly done, just as Whitney Snyder had taught her. So she had a coach that taught her how to.
Whitney Snyder was her makeup artist, the person that would do her makeup.
That worked on her image. But it says her nails are bitten to the quick, and her inexpensive dress, mended stockings, and scuffed pair of heels betray her humble origins. So my question, I guess, is what. And now, as we speak, Lily and I are hiding our nails because we haven't done them. So, what things about us reveal that we don't come from money, right? Like the way we dress, our accessories, right?
The way we
things
speak.
like that. Yes, our language.
Talking about accessories, I'm wearing my chandelier earrings in honor of Marilyn.
Who wrote them on the? She would wear them.
Yeah,
a lot, and there she is on the cover.
She was wearing them.
But yes, and of course I couldn't find my chandelier earrings, but I'm wearing these.
Her little clapboard earrings.
Yes,
cute.
Also in honor of Marilyn and her film career. Okay,
sorry.
71.
71.
On page 71, she meets the Kennedys, and they will be in case you don't know about her, they're a big part of her life.
Yeah.
She talks about at this moment when she meets the future president. He had been newly elected as a Massachusetts congressman. And I commented on what constitutes sexual assault because she's at this party. Somebody named Charlie throws the party. I forget who he is, but Kennedy meets her, and she's standing next to somebody named Jean, and this guy runs his finger down her naked back. and Marilyn just kind of stands there nervously, right? Not saying anything, kind of uncertain, not knowing how to react.
Yeah.
And for the record, that is assault. You
Yeah.
don't just run your finger down a woman's back.
Especially
So
someone
yes, you don't even know,
Yeah.
or I mean, you have no it's just
You don't.
you just
You
don't.
just shouldn't.
You just don't.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, And I guess also it made me think of Hollywood now and how, the hashtag Me Too movement.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's some things that just don't change. Women continue to be harassed in the movie industry.
Yeah. Yeah. The difference now then is they got away with it. Right?
Yeah. And now women finally got tired of it and spoke up.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it was how do you say it? Like it was a rite of passage. You had to tolerate these behaviors in men.
Well, in order to
to
advance
be
in
able,
your career.
Exactly. It's page 81, Lily. June tells Marilyn, when I started modeling, sex was part of the job. All the girls did. They weren't shooting all these sexy pictures just to sell peanut butter in an ad or get a layout in some picture magazine. They wanted to sample the merchandise. And if you didn't get along, there were 25 girls who would. It wasn't any big dramatic tragedy. Nobody ever got cancer from sex. So this is what Marilyn is being told. Like this is, like we just said, a rite of passage.
Yeah,
you either do it or you won't be a part of this select group.
That's sad. And she goes with it because, well, she doesn't know any better.
Yeah. She doesn't have insiders in Hollywood, right? She is joining this industry all on her own.
Yeah. Yeah. What, page 89?
It's 85. I love the metaphor about Hollywood on this page. It says, in Hollywood, we have to work overtime to outwit the wolves. That's because wolves of all varieties come from far and near to snare the little Red Riding Hoods of the movies. I think that continues to be the case.
Yeah.
Sadly.
My poster for 89 is that her contract was not renewed. I don't know why it was not renewed, but it was not. And then she's very hard on herself. She says, what a fool she's been, allowing herself to think that she has something special. Marilyn draws her curtains, gets into bed, and stays there for a week, mourning the end of Marilyn Monroe before she's even truly born. By this time, we know that she's not Norma Jean anymore. She is Marilyn Monroe. And so now she's just shutting the curtains and saying goodbye, because that's it. That's the end of her career, pretty much, because her contract is not renewed. And I think that's just hard, I think, for any actress. Like, it could be over.
Yeah, well, her movies weren't selling as much as expected, and let's remember she had no formal acting training, so we're not surprised, right? That she wasn't having success. Page 118.
Perfect. I have, well, for me it's
Go ahead.
92. So what year? I don't know how far. And this man that she befriends, Skolsky, right? I think he has some connections and does get her and pretty much says, Marilyn's hot, and says next pal Johnny Roselli, as he lines up his swig on the golf course, really hot, the full package. Again, talking about her body.
Yes, in a sexual way.
Sure, shrugs Harry Cohn. Send her my way and let's see if we can use her. In March 1948, Cohn signs Marilyn to Columbia. The 6-month contract pays $125 a week. And that, in reference to now, is $1,688 a week in dollars. So she's ecstatic. She's got a contract again, and that in that time is a lot of money, especially for her, because she comes from
humble origins. Yes.
And she gets an acting coach, Columbia Pictures acting coach Natasha Lightis, and she does follow her through many years through her acting career. She's the one on the sidelines, and she's the one that Marilyn looks to for approval and if she's doing the right thing or not. What page are you?
And I think she's there with her towards the end of her life too, with Marilyn. Page 118 for me.
118. It says Marilyn's. Let's see. Somebody is talking to her. She has a jacket, a tight skirt, and someone says, "Good, you look smaller than you do on screen, but then you ladies always do. Now sit." He indicates a padded armchair, then leans over his huge leather top desk and flicks a switch. "Hold all my calls," he orders an unscreened receptionist. Marilyn's heart stops. Her mouth is smiling, but inside she is terrified. I think she knows what's happening. Now he continues, opening the top drawer of his desk. He pulls out a large photograph of an impressive looking yacht. "Do you like boats?" He uses his fat hands to smooth down a photograph of a yacht. "You're invited on board my yacht." He walks behind her and gives her shoulders a painful squeeze. Again,
Touching her,
touching,
yes.
physical touching.
Yes.
"I'd love to join you and your wife, Mr. Cohn. What a delightful invitation." This is Marilyn saying that. My what? Your wife. "Leave my wife out of this." Anyways, all that to say that he wants her to go into this yacht on
and we know what he wants.
Exactly.
Yes.
So sexual harassment was overlooked at that time. In 1980, 1980, that's when the Equal Employment Opportunity regarded that as sexual harassment, actually looked into it. It's a commission. It says right here, updated guidelines to explicitly define sexual harassment as a form of prohibited sex discrimination.
That's like not that long ago.
No,
it's disturbing.
1980, and this was disturbing. In the late 1930s or early 40s, right? Because she was already 20 something, and you know her career's just starting, and she did a great job turning him down, and she did.
That's right.
She turned him down.
She did. You see that? I mean, at least the second instance it was like where she's able to avoid that kind of attention and deter these men.
Yeah, and her contract ended.
Surprise there.
Yep, her contract ended.
For the second time.
1948, Marilyn Monroe's contract with Columbia expires, and it was not renewed, actually, at that point. It was not renewed. What do you have?
I'm still on 118.
Oh, okay. So 112, I just wrote, "Oh my gosh, sexual harassment." No,
again.
Not that. Okay. So Marilyn arrives for her first meeting with Houston, dressed as she imagines the fictional Angela, a young woman kept by an older man. That's the character she's trying to play. She's wearing a low-cut, clingy red dress over a bra padded to the point of absurdity. The producer, Arthur Hornblow, laughs and asks her to remove all the tissues. She's given a script to look over. So he's kind of, she's trying to dress in a way, I guess, to be like, get attention. And she's patting her bra, very pointy bra. And the guy looks at her and just laughs at her and says, "Take all that tissue out of your bra." So at that point, I just wrote like, "Oh my gosh, sexual harassment." Again, right? That would not be okay now, because that's...
You can't, because
it's just not inappropriate. You just don't do that.
The fact that they thought it was okay at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Back then.
And laugh at her for, I think she was just trying, because I don't know if she got desperate, like, "I need a contract, I need money." You said you're on 118? Okay, I have 115. Life magazine photographer photographs her at Griffith Park, and here we are in 1950. She gets photographed by Life magazine. I think she's starting to get more shoots. Part of movies again. And they decide to bring her here to Griffith Park and take pictures of her.
Look them up. They're really beautiful pictures. Actually, I think this might be one of them.
That is pretty, and that's when she was, I think, recording or about to open in the movie Asphalt Jungle, because it was going to open. So then they call her Fox's new hot tomato. And he brings Marilyn to Los Angeles Griffith Park, where she poses under the shade of the trees reading scripts.
We're reading about her instead of
scripts. We're reading about her instead. I'm so glad I had that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And she 118?
Yes.
Me too. But I think different thing. No, it's the same thing.
I'll help you a bit. So Marilyn is looking for love. Marilyn is always looking for love. She says, let's see. This guy, Hyde, I don't remember who he is exactly, but he proposes to Marilyn and she declines. And
several times, right?
Yes, and and he's like, "I'm rich. I have almost $1 million. If you marry me, you'll inherit it when I die." And she won't. She's a romantic. She'll marry only for love. So I was very, I guess I was surprised, but impressed.
Older.
Yeah, but it's like she she wants fame.
Yeah.
She wants fortune, but not. She does not want to sacrifice her integrity, and she wants to marry for love. And I guess the only time she didn't really do it was the first time. It was more of I guess she did like the guy,
She
but she wasn't
did.
in love with him.
Yeah.
But she
And
stood
did
her
she know
ground.
what was love? Maybe that's how she found out
That's
that
true.
was not what she really wanted.
That's true. Teenage love is very different from mature love. So that's true. Maybe she thought she was, and then she wasn't. Okay, 120.
Okay, and just to recap right here, she's actually 24.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
The
just
baby.
24. Yeah, on June 1st. And that same guy actually says, I've been waiting. Never in all my life have I come across such cruelty or such selfishness. Because Marilyn was always late.
Yes.
Always, always, always.
That's why I was late half an hour this morning.
And
I was following Marilyn's
it was
lead.
relevant to that.
Yes. I should have told you that in the morning.
Like, oh, put that in
that
the
I was
video.
that I was just being a Marilyn.
Yes.
On page 120, she mentions that she has very few friends. She makes a list of the few friends that she has, and basically it's people that she has met in the industry. So this is a recurring theme we see throughout the book. She is surrounded by people, but she's always lonely.
Yeah. So I think that she started thinking about that. Like, if I died, these are the people that are going to be surrounding my deathbed, because that guy Hyde died. He was only 55 and he died. And so, yeah.
She's very grief-struck when he dies. Yes.
Yeah. And that's when she starts thinking, like, who are the closest people to me who would be there? And Hyde does instruct his family, be sure that Marilyn is treated as one of the family. Hyde had instructed his secretary as he lay dying. Instead, Hyde's family not only repossesses all of the clothing and jewelry he'd gifted his beloved, because he would give her clothes and jewelry, but bars her from attending his funeral at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, which we just
yes, we've been all over the place.
In the Hollywood Hills, yes. So they take all that away, even though Hyde's last dying wish was for pretty much for them to take care of her, right? To treat her as part of the family. She is grieving. Yet the grieving Marilyn is defiant, heavily veiled and dressed in a new black suit purchased for the occasion. She and Natasha, her coach, sneak into the funeral service. And again, she tries to commit suicide by taking sleeping pills.
And that's another recurring theme in
Yes.
life. So many pills that she takes for. She suffered from insomnia.
Yeah.
She suffered from mental health.
Yeah. And there was a note that she left on her desk, on her table. It says, "I leave my car and my stole to Natasha." And then she put up a note on her bedroom door, and it says, "Barbara, do not enter." So they think, what the hell has she done? It says right here on page 122. And they just say, call an ambulance, because they find her. So I don't think she does say, why would I want to kill myself? Johnny has given me so much to live for. So we don't know. Does she try? Does she not? Was it an accident?
Yeah.
So where are we at?
7?
Does she meet DiMaggio yet?
Well, I think we're going back and forth, because I notice on page 125 Arthur Miller is mentioned, and he was her third husband.
Yeah.
So he's mentioned because his one of his most famous plays is coming out on film, Death of a Salesman. And one of the things that I learned that I wasn't aware was that he was associated with communism.
Yeah.
So the FBI had like a rap sheet on him. And he had a hard time getting his screenplays or his plays produced to film because of his communist ties. And in this page, his relationship to Marilyn is mentioned on page 126. With all her radiance, she was surrounded by darkness. That perplexed me, is Miller's impression of Marilyn. I was retreating to the safety of morals, to be sure, but not necessarily truthfulness. Flying home, her scent still on my hands, I knew my innocence was technical merely, and the secret that I could lose myself in sensuality entered me like a radiating force. So let's remember, these are the words of a writer, right? So he he becomes enamored with Marilyn. He's
Mm-hmm.
married. He hasn't technically had an affair with her, but he
Yeah.
feels that he, in a way, has cheated on his wife. And eventually he will divorce his wife to marry Marilyn.
Mm-hmm.
But first, Marilyn has to marry the baseball player,
Mm-hmm.
DiMaggio, right? Joe
Yeah.
DiMaggio.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then I have on page 129, chapter
Mm-hmm.
24, Marilyn Monroe is backstage for the
Mm-hmm.
23rd Academy Awards.
We just passed those.
We just passed the setup for those.
Yeah, they're going to be next weekend, and they had all the Oscar statuettes lined up on the street.
So she's backstage because she's going to announce an award that was given to somebody. But 2 weeks after that, on April 11th, April 11th, 1951, she signs the document. She signs a contract with 20th Century Fox. And she says that it's Johnny Hyde's final gift to the woman he loved. That's the man that passed away not too long ago.
She wouldn't marry.
That she would marry, yeah, and that was his final gift to her, thinking he's the one that arranged for them to give her this 7-year contract. And so what she's getting is $6,400. Oh no, then it was $6,400 a week, which that would be what it would be on our 2026. Yeah. And then so I did the math. 25,600 a month, but yearly it would be 332,000 a year. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So she was ecstatic, and she called it the final gift that Hyde left her. And so that's pretty much a big contract that she was yearning for, right? So, and then the next page, I don't know why she's named Miss Cheesecake of the Year.
We should have had cheesecake.
I know.
In honor of Marilyn.
Yes. And why? I don't know.
Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah. So she's again seen as a sex symbol.
I have that too, Lily.
Yeah. Page 131. But she does care about her parts. Their questionable quality is beginning to depress her. She complains to Michael Chekhov, I want to be an artist, not an erotic freak. I don't want to be sold to the public as a celluloid aphrodisiac. It was all right for the first few years, but now it's different.
And I'll add to that, when she's having this conversation, they're telling her that Chekhov explains our bodies can either be our best friends or worst enemies. You must try to consider your body as an instrument for expressing creative ideas. You must strive for complete harmony between body and psychology. And I interpreted it differently, right? How our bodies and our state of mind shows in the state of our body, right? A lot of people get sick because their bodies are affected by their mental, their thoughts, their state of mind. So, I mean, I guess in a way he's right. Page 138.
I have 132. And she's with Natasha, her acting coach again. As she wants to go and find her dad. And she finds out that he lives in Hemet. And she asks, after all this time, he's not going to be the same person who walked out on my mother. And Natasha says, what if he has moved on? What if he has forgotten about you? And she says, he would never do that. As Lightis, that's Natasha, stares at Marilyn's determined face. She sees the forgotten child screaming, look at me, and deciding that the only way to get her father's attention was to achieve stardom, fame, and adulation. Yet he's still nowhere to be seen. They set out for Hemet, California, in San Jacinto Valley, San Jacinto Valley town, 87 miles south of Los Angeles. Along the way, Lightis persuades Marilyn to pull into a gas station. Most people hate surprises, she says. Much better to call ahead. So she does put it down on the payphone. And she says, oh, hello, this is Mrs. Gifford. Who is calling? And she says, I am Gladys Baker's daughter. This is Marilyn Monroe saying. A little girl from a long time ago. I'm Marilyn Monroe. He is sure to know who I am. There's a pause. And she pretty much says, he doesn't want to speak to you. Then after a pause, do you have a pencil? And tells her info, but he never contacts her. So that was hard for her to know that her dad, doesn't matter, it's Marilyn Monroe.
If she's famous, he still wants nothing to do with her. On page one, no, go ahead.
135, I just said reading. I don't know why. It says, I read them till I got dizzy. That was her reading because she wanted to get educated. She wanted to feel smart. She learns how to digest books and break down stories, and she learns about herself, much like what we do when we read, right? And like how we're trying to do this podcast. So, no, you know.
And I
like
have to say that I'm wearing my UCLA shirt because I found out that Marilyn took classes at UCLA. I was like, wow, we're fellow Bruins.
Yes. So she learns about herself. She possesses a mind that is quick, smart, and voracious for knowledge. So I think, you know, and that's why there's a turn where she doesn't want to be seen as a sex symbol anymore, right? She wants her talent to be seen for what it is. Yeah, so that was important to note. I'm still on page 136. It says, I respect her honesty. It says, in March, Marilyn gives Mosby, I don't remember who that is, an exclusive interview and dares to tell the truth. I was told I should deny I'd posed, but I'd rather be honest about it, she tells the reporter. Her voice is soft but serious, words flowing in a breathless rush. Besides, I'm not ashamed of it. I've done nothing wrong. The truth is that she posed for photographer Tom Kelly because she needed the money. I was in debt, she admits. I always supported myself. No one else ever supported me in my life. I had no family and I had no place to go. So when she was younger, she did pose nude for this calendar, right? And so it's now that she's known, it's coming up like, oh, she posed nude. And she comes out and says, I did it. So that's how I was supporting myself. So I respect that transparency. And I think a lot of people did too, because she came out and said her story. She was not ashamed of it.
She didn't make up a story, which is what she was advised to do. She's like, I'm just going to say the truth. And people appreciated the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
That is true.
Because at that moment she did it because she needed money.
And that will come up later on. Those pictures will come up again. 138. We see again how lonely Marilyn is. I knew I belonged to the public and to the world, not because I was talented or even beautiful, but because I had never belonged to anything or anyone else. The public was the only family, the only Prince Charming, and the only home I had ever dreamed of. Those are Marilyn's fictitious words.
Yeah, and we see DiMaggio now.
Yes.
Oh, there's Charlie Chaplin. We took a picture with him.
We did not. We did.
Charlie.
Sorry, we've been through a lot today. It's been a long day.
And it is Sunday, the day we
Maybe it's because of the time change. Yes.
I think so. Yeah, we lost an hour, you guys. We lost an hour. Page 140. So remember she's late all the time. And it says, she's always late, March laughs nervously, leaping from his seat when he spots a flash of platinum blonde by the door. And she says, it's not really me who's late, Marilyn says. It's the others who are in such a hurry.
I always say that.
Laughing, because I was like,
yes.
You know, perspective, right?
Yes, perspective.
So I guess I'm always in a hurry because I feel like I try to be there.
We want to get things done and be there on time and respect people's time. And yes.
So I guess I'm always in a hurry. And other people are just always, they're not late.
Yeah.
It's just everybody else. That's funny. It just keeps coming up. And the directors she works with don't like that because they're losing money.
Well, yeah. The clock is ticking. Yeah. Yes, people are waiting. They're paying the staff.
Yeah.
Still you, Lily.
Oh, so page 144. I don't know if she's married at this point. Maybe, I don't know. We talked a lot about baseball. This is when she first meets Joe DiMaggio, the baseball player. Everybody knows him. He's very serious, right? Not like her. We talked a lot about baseball, believe it or not. Marilyn tells Photoplay magazine. Joe explained it to me. And he introduces her to his friend George Solitaire, who's impressed that she's a real down-to-earth girl. She has plenty of heart. She has not gone Hollywood. And this is DiMaggio's friend trying to tell him, like, she's a good girl.
Yeah.
Right? And to me, I took it as, like, that's a compliment to say she has not gone Hollywood. Right? Because she's still herself.
She's not a diva.
She's not a diva. And does she ever turn diva, you think?
I don't think we saw that in the book, other than her being late.
Oh, yeah.
And being told that it really affected production.
I
But
guess at
somehow,
some point,
but I think that
yeah,
was more like her mental health. Like she just could not get
get out of
herself to
bed.
get there.
Yeah,
Yeah. It
yeah,
wasn't like diva status. Like
yeah,
they're gonna have to wait for me. It was more like I just can't get there.
yeah.
Um,
And we have to remember that at that time you couldn't just text somebody and say I'm not
that's
going.
true. I'm running
So
late or
by the time the
whatever.
message got there or that I'm going to be late, it's been hours. So
Hmm.
it just seemed like
But for the
she didn't
record,
care.
be on time.
I think it's important.
Yes.
If you put it on the calendar, be on
Yes.
time. Page 152,
I'm
152.
on 156.
Okay. Marilyn Monroe won't be able to marry Joe DiMaggio right away if she wants to. Sheila Graham reports in August. Her column, Hollywood Today, runs in 180 newspapers worldwide. Starting this week, Monroe plunges into 50 poster sittings and 40 fan magazine layouts. Every paper and periodical in the country is clamoring for more of Marilyn. DiMaggio wishes they wouldn't. He's of the opinion that wives stay home, take care of the house. They cook, they clean, they set the table, and they don't express opinions. They certainly don't live their lives in front of film and news cameras. I wrote, oh no, again.
The second husband says the same thing to her.
Yes.
Wow. Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
she's not just starting out her
Yeah.
career. She's like in it.
She's
Big
already.
contract. He doesn't care about that.
Yeah, he wants.
She's a woman.
Yes, and she belongs in the home.
Yes. Are they married at this point? I think not.
I can't remember.
I don't think so.
156 maybe.
And then at some point he says, at the expense of my career? She says, absolutely not. So he storms out. 156. Okay.
Okay, so on 156, we were talking about being smart, right? So on this page, the movie Gentlemen Prefer Blondes is mentioned, which I got to see. It's a cute movie.
Yeah.
It's fun. On set, Marilyn tells Howard Hawks that she's thought of a new line for the script. I can be smart when it's important, but most men don't like it. The director adds it to her final scene, and Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. So I like that little twist.
They added it for her.
That she added that to the movie and they let her. Yes.
It's a contribution.
Men don't like it.
Yeah.
Women are smart. And that is why women play dumb.
So it's Christmas time on page 157. And Joe, she opens the door to her dark house. She's alone, right? She gets a strange, fearful feeling. But when she flicks on a light switch, she sees her holiday dreams come true. A huge Christmas tree covered in silver baubles, those ornaments, is arranged on a stand. Propped up against it is a large handwritten cardboard sign, Merry Christmas to Marilyn. Sitting on a chair in the corner, smoking cigarette and nursing a bourbon and soda, is Joe DiMaggio. Oh, Joe, she collapses on the floor at his feet, hugging his knees. She looks up, her eyes full of tears. You said you were spending the holidays in San Francisco with your family, and now you are here. What a surprise. Merry Christmas, my darling. He smiles at her and gently asks, why are you crying? It's the first time anyone ever gave me a Christmas tree.
Wow. Famous Marilyn, the first time she gets a tree. Crazy.
Right, as an adult.
Yes, as an adult.
Like her reaction. And
yeah.
I never thought about, every year
we
Christmas
take it for
tree.
granted.
Yeah.
It's just part of the ritual.
Yeah, it's what you do. Yeah. That was very touching. I was like, wow.
163. Fun fact on pills and pharmaceuticals. We already mentioned, right, that she takes a lot of pills. Benzedrine or bennies keep a person slim and alert. The perfect high of dexedrine and dexamyl, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing this right, counteracted by sleep-inducing barbiturates, seconal and nembutal or yellow jackets. Marilyn's bathroom cabinet is full of them. So we already said, it says here that she had she has a plastic bag full of pills in her dressing room tables, uppers, downers, vitamins.
Wow.
No one is quite sure what cocktail of drugs the mixture contains. So when people see that, they're shocked that she walks around with all these pills. And you got to wonder, I mean, how many, I didn't even think of researching this, Lily, but how many celebrities have we lost because of this? I mean, there was Michael Jackson, there was recently Matthew Perry, I think, and so many others.
Yeah.
That you discover there was some kind of a bad mix of pills, right?
Prince,
gone
right?
wrong.
Didn't Prince?
Maybe, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's a long list.
Yeah.
So Marilyn was not the only one, and I'm sure there's others that we don't even know about.
Well, and when I read that, I was like, who
Yeah,
is
prescribing these pills to
giving
them.
her all this? And they should be held responsible.
Yes.
Because at some point, somebody does question, like, why are these doctors giving her
Yes.
all this?
Yes. It's like they just take the money and run with it. If you
Yeah.
pay, we'll give you what you want.
Like, it doesn't matter if you beg or not.
You're
It's
next,
not
lady.
good for you. I'm next.
Yes.
What page are you? 194.
Oh, I thought I can't see. I guess 171. Hugh Hefner is mentioned here. So we found it ironic that he's laying next to Marilyn at the cemetery. We noticed that they were born the same year. Although Hugh Hefner died, almost 10 years ago, I think it was. But anyway, here on page 171, 27-year-old Chicago entrepreneur Hugh Hefner pulled a fast one. The first issue of his new magazine, Playboy, hits newsstands in December of 1953 with a picture of Marilyn on the cover. It's a shot recycled from the 1952 Miss America pageant parade where Marilyn served as a Grand Marshal. And on the cover, it says, first time in any magazine, full color, the famous Marilyn Monroe nude. It refers to the 2 shots Tom Kelly took back in 1949 for the Golden Dreams pinup calendar. Hefner tracks them down and buys the rights to the whole calendar. And he makes what at the time was a lot of money selling his first issue. So thanks to Marilyn, he is catapulted to fame, and he becomes the Hugh Hefner that we now know. It says that the Marilyn photos are a big chunk of his $8,000 budget, but an amazing payoff. She is natural sex personified. The 50-cent magazine quickly sells out its 70,000 copy run. Marilyn is paid nothing. So
how's that?
Yeah, I was just angry for her. That he
Were they
profited
friends?
of her. No,
nothing, right? He just came across her pictures.
Yes.
And how are they next to each other?
Right. I'm curious, like, did he ask to be there? Because she died first.
Yeah.
Like, how did he end up right next to each other?
Yeah.
So unbelievable. The studio has been exploiting Marilyn, and not just in business matters. Shots calculated to show her legs and her bust both at the same time are too risque for his taste. This is Joe DiMaggio getting upset at how his wife is being portrayed in magazines and in Hollywood.
So they're married
she's
now.
Just all these men are taking advantage of her in different ways, even though she's a famous star. Like, what does that say for the rest of the girls that are not famous, right? 181. On 181, we discover that Joe DiMaggio is physically abusive. Jolton Joe is what he's called, doesn't know his own strength, she tells herself. He didn't mean to push her away as she came to hug him, interrupting a conversation with his friend George Solitaire, but the force had been powerful enough to break her thumb. I'm not sure if we put a post-it on this, Lily, but that famous picture of Marilyn where her dress is flying around, Joe DiMaggio was there, and he was very upset.
Did not like it.
Yes, he was not happy. And I think that's what triggered the anger that we're reading about right now. Anyway, 185. They didn't see me. They saw their own lewd thoughts. This is Marilyn speaking. Then they white mask themselves by calling me the lewd one. Yes, these males are projecting. They're vilifying her because she dresses a certain way or acts a certain way, when they are the ones that are perverts. I mean, let's call it what it is. That's what they are. Go ahead, Lee.
Page 194. This is Marilyn talking to one of her co-stars. She says, I'm extremely unhappy. She tells him, I married Joe with love. I thought I was going to have a good life. I thought we were going to have a decent marriage. I thought we were going to have a relationship as a husband and as a wife, and all the things that are entailed in a good marriage. And I've discovered that the man is absolutely obsessed with jealousy and possessiveness. And I wrote, there were signs. Before they got married, he would storm out because he was not happy with what he would see, or that she had to go and do a movie, or he was just not happy. So there were signs. I don't want to blame her. It's like, but she thought maybe she thought marriage was going to be different. She was too in love and thought, once they were married, everything was going to be fine. But I think
one thing is for sure, like, we keep running into the domestic violence scenario in a lot of the books that we're reading. We see that it touches women of all ages, of all nationalities, of all, social positions. And even Marilyn, with the fame that she had. Remember Evelyn Hugo? We talked about her.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. It's definitely a problem that we see in a lot of the books that we've read.
Yeah. Page 197.
Mm-hmm.
So you were talking about that scene, right, where Joe DiMaggio storms out, and it says here they're doing a scene, and he does show up. They're standing on a subway grate. Air is forced from below to stimulate a passing train, blowing the skirt of Marilyn's white halter neck dress up over her knees, over her thighs, over her hips, even over her head. And that's the iconic Marilyn scene, right? She's like this, smiling because it was funny. Marilyn, I thought that was funny, who typically, because she was known to not wear any
Yes, they kept repeating that throughout the book. I didn't know. Actually, I didn't know that about her.
No underclothing, yeah. Yes. Marilyn, who typically wears no underclothing, tonight dons 2 pairs of white underpants beneath her billowing skirt. But even that's not enough to protect her modesty in the glare of the set lights and the flashbulbs, which reveal more than she intends and more than her husband can stand. It says, not turning a blind eye like 7 husbands. So Marilyn tells her hairdresser, Sidney Gilroff, that when DiMaggio first got rough with her, she told him, don't ever do that again. I was abused as a child, and I'm not going to stand for it. So that night at the St. Regis, she informs Gilroff, Joe slapped me around the hotel room until I screamed. That's it. You know, Sidney, the first time a man beats you up, it makes you angry. When it happens a second time, you'd have to be crazy to stay. So I left him. So this is when Marilyn leaves Joe. And it reminded me of the book, 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, right? Yes. Where she stayed with her. Was it the first husband or second husband?
Well, there were 7. It's hard to remember.
Yeah. So I think she really loved him, but he would beat her up. And they were both actors, and they were seen on set. She had bruises, but people would just turn away because it's what happens behind closed doors.
It's an uncomfortable topic. Yes, people don't want to meddle in intimate relationships.
Yeah.
But Marilyn did, according to this book, the one-time thing. The minute he got physical, she was like, I'm done.
And she was done. So marriage was over after 9 months.
Yeah. However, that was not the end of their relationship. No. They did stay friends. He was there with her towards the end.
Yeah.
Supporting her, and at least as a friend.
Yeah. 200?
283 for me.
So, okay. So the marriage is over after 9 months, and DiMaggio, I wrote here, he can't accept that it's his fault. So DiMaggio isn't convinced he's going to have her investigated because he thought she was seeing somebody else, and that's the reason why she left him. It's like, because he doesn't want to put fault for him. He wants to fault her. She's the one that's seeing somebody else. Therefore, that's why she wants to leave me. I was very turned off by him.
Yeah.
Yes, turned off by him. However, as you read, he was there with her till the very end, regardless. So, he loved me a little bit.
He kind of redeemed. He redeemed himself in a way, right?
A little bit,
Yeah.
He still was who he was, and she was who she was.
Yeah. Yeah. People are complex beings.
Yep. So page 211. So she gets these contracts where she's paid a lot less than other actors and actresses, and she decides. I don't know how old she was at this point. She starts her own production company.
We were very proud of her.
Yes, you go, Marilyn. She starts her own, and I think that's when I start to see that they're actually they're giving her more money after that. She has, and she starts it with somebody else, who then she kicks out for whatever reason, right? Page 219, she was taken advantage of. Why? So on December 20th, 1955, Marilyn purchases a black Ford Thunderbird with a V8 engine and a convertible top. She registers her car to Marilyn Monroe Productions, Inc. 11 days later, on New Year's Eve, she signs her new contract with 20th Century Fox. It's 1 year to the day since she finalized the plans for the company that bears her name. In January 1956, the Los Angeles Mirror News reports Marilyn Monroe, victorious in her year-long sit-down strike against 20th Century Fox, will return to the studio next month with a reported $8 million deal.
By now she's 30. I can do that math.
Yeah, and so, yes, 30 years old. Until then, though, they were taking advantage of her.
Yeah.
They were taking advantage of her. So she got smart.
It's been quite a journey for her
Yeah.
until this point.
$8 million deal. Veterans of the movie scene said it was one of the greatest single triumphs ever won by an actress.
Mm.
Good job, Marilyn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Natasha, who has been with her, because she's not 30 years old, right?
Mhm.
Or 30 some.
Yeah, no, she's 30.
30 at this point. I don't know. 1956, yes.
Mhm.
Natasha, her coach, Lystis, is let go. I think she was too much.
Mhm.
She was hovering too much.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So they let her go. She lets her go. Marilyn lets her go, but I don't know if she actually tells her, like, you're let go, or she has her people tell her, you can't come around anymore.
Mm-hmm.
239. Got approval from his parents. Beautifully said. So, we hear of Arthur Miller again.
Mm-hmm.
He is married.
Mm-hmm.
They started a relationship when he's still married. But he wants to get a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to get a divorce so he can marry Marilyn.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells his parents, "This is the girl I'm going to marry." Miller tells his parents, Isidore and Augusta. He'd been nervous about getting their blessing and greatly relieved when they gave it to him. "It's not that I would hesitate to marry you if they disapproved," he'd written to Marilyn. "Truly, sweetheart, that was not it. It was that somehow inside me, I wanted their love to flow toward both of us because it would give me strength, and you too. It's not that they are my judges, but the first sources of my identity and my love." He got approval from his parents. I think that was beautifully said. Whether they approved or not, he still was gonna do it. But
Mm-hmm.
that respect, right?
Yeah.
Like he wanted them to love her as much as they love him, and they approved of her.
Mm-hmm.
They approved of her, even though this was his second marriage. He still was looking for that
Yeah.
from his parents. 248. It says, "But what? But that's how others treated her." Olivier
Olivia.
was another co-star, I believe. Olivier, or the director, I don't remember. Olivier contradicts the acting coach. "All you have to be is sexy, dear Marilyn," the director declares. Sexy? Marilyn is deeply offended at Olivier's condescending tone. "He came on like someone slumming," she says. "He upset me a lot." She immediately retaliates. "I started being bad with him, being late, and he hated it. But if you don't respect your artists, they can't work well." Respect is what you have to fight for. Miller is on his wife's side, though Marilyn occasionally accuses him otherwise. "She was generally seen as a very lightheaded, if not silly human being," he said. "Some kind of dancing bear that she shouldn't be able, for example, to have any interest in anything but sex, showing off, or saying dopey things to the newspaper." But that's how others treated her too.
Yeah.
But I think now she's just like,
Yeah.
she's taking offense to that,
Mhm.
right? She's not letting others do that to her anymore, because I think she's starting to have that respect for herself too,
Mm-hmm.
right? Oh no, I'm 300. Oh no, wait.
280.
You.
283 for me. So here on this page, Kennedy announces his run for the presidency, and this is what Marilyn thinks. "America's most famous actress with a man who could be America's next president. Why not? She married America's greatest living sportsman, and then America's greatest living writer." So as Greenson's initial assessment of Marilyn is that she suffers from symptoms of paranoia and schizophrenia. I think this is her psychologist, one of her many psychologists.
Yeah.
As she becomes more anxious, he writes, she begins to act like an orphan, a waif, and she masochistically provokes people to mistreat her and take advantage of her. As fragments of her past came out, she began to talk more about the traumatic experiences of an orphan child. Further on page 284, there's a narration about Marilyn on meds. Most astonishing to Greenson is Marilyn's tolerance for drugs. Although she resembled an addict, the doctor observes, she did not seem to be the usual addict. She seemed to be able to give up the drugs without heavy withdrawal symptoms. And then further on, Greenson tells Marilyn that she's already received so much medication that it would put 5 other people to sleep. Sleeping with less medication is possible, he promises, if she would recognize she is fighting sleep as well as searching for some oblivion, which is not sleep. So Marilyn continues to run from reality. On page 298, there's a catch-22 here when it comes to acting. So she is going to act on the movie The Misfits, which was written by Arthur Miller. And she, Clift, who is, I think, a co-star for the movie, tells Marilyn that they have the same problem. We attract people the way honey does bees, but they're generally the wrong kind of people. People who want something from us, if only our energy. We need a period of being alone to become ourselves. To be an actor, you can't afford defenses, a thick skin. You've got to be open, and people can hurt you easily. I thought that was interesting, right? That, and it makes sense. In order to be a good actor, you need to be receptive to the energy of other people,
Yeah.
because that's how you portray
Yeah.
different characters, right?
Yeah.
But it also makes you vulnerable
Yeah.
to people taking advantage of you. Page 302.
Oh.
You're there before me?
No.
No?
I took it off.
Okay.
But I think it's the same one.
Yeah, they talk about aging on this page. I sit in front of the mirror for hours looking for signs of age, is what I think a co-star tells her. Sometimes I think it would be easier to avoid old age, to die young, but then you'd never complete your life, would you? Um, this is Marilyn actually speaking. And who knew that she was going to die young, right? Did we do the math, Lily? Late 30s is when she
She's
died?
36.
36, mid 30s,
Yeah.
okay. So I consider that young for the record.
Oh, yes.
Page
I
325.
agree. So 308, actually, I put something. She ends up in a psychiatric clinic. One of her doctors, right, puts her in a clinic where she's even placed in a straitjacket. And she's throwing chairs, she's banging on windows. So she's seen as someone crazy, even though she says, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
But that's what somebody would say if they're crazy,
Yes,
right? But
true.
she's afraid of this because her mom is in a hospital like that. So she doesn't want to end up like her mom. The doctor, I mean, I don't know how it happened, but it was meant for her to go to recover, because she had gone a few times, a place where she can sleep, because she was lacking sleep. But then she actually wrote letters and reached out to some of the people that she knows, and eventually after a few, I don't know if it was 3 weeks or they were able to get her out of there. That was,
and the book doesn't mention it, but beside her mother having mental health issues, there's a lot of people in her family tree from, I think, both sides of the family
really?
that suffered from mental health issues. 325.
Okay.
I said, because we're Mexican, I love this quote. Why does he have to be an actor? She asked. Just being Mexican is enough for me. Oh, so she was in a movie that was filmed in Mexico. And she apparently had a fling with
Jose Bolaños.
Yes.
A writer, right? Or an actor?
Was it a writer? I don't remember. Maybe he was a writer.
Yeah.
I can't remember, honestly. But I just thought that it was, a compliment to Mexicans. She says, he doesn't have to be an actor. Just be a Mexican. And that's enough for me. Here we go. Jose Bolaños, a handsome Mexican screenwriter. They're photographed dancing in a tight embrace at a Mexico City nightclub. Bolaños makes Marilyn feel loved, showering her with flowers and gifts. So this is her little fling that she has with him. On page 326, an old friend of Dr. Greenson, American expat Frederick Vanderbilt Field, and his fourth wife, Nieves Orozco, are at Marilyn's culture guides to Mexico. So with them, she gets to visit different parts of Mexico City. But because she has this friendship with this couple, the FBI makes her a target as well, because Field was an operative for the Russians, apparently. And so they're surveilling him. And because Marilyn is hanging out with him, now Marilyn will also be under surveillance. Field talks to Marilyn about political news. He explains, or she talks about her friendship with the Kennedys, how President Kennedy and his brother Bobby, the U.S. Attorney General, are dedicated to winning the space race, promoting global service to the Peace Corps, and monitoring the country's slowly escalating involvement in Vietnam. There's also Jack and Bobby's intense dislike for that awful FBI chief, J. Edgar Hoover. So this whole conversation is recorded. So now there's more concern about Marilyn because she has this friendship with this couple. And remember, Miller, her third husband, was under surveillance as well for expressing communist views in his plays and an open support of a communist party. So this is something that I didn't realize that they had like an actual file on her, but they did. So this ties into the end of the book, right? Because there's conspiracy theories about whether she was killed or whether she committed suicide. Further on the page 327, Hoover is alarmed at the extent to which the president's affairs have become a national security risk. His movie star mistress is gossiping with a known Soviet agent who briefs other foreign intelligence operatives. So Hoover, again, like I just read, is worried that that the Kennedys are dispersing or disclosing too much information about government affairs because Marilyn clearly is just sharing it freely with her friends. Yes. So page 331.
So just going back
that?
So she had a fling. We call it a fling, Jose Bolaños, right? He does come over to be her date for the Golden Globes.
Yes.
And so they end up going to like an after party where they start dancing just like they did in Mexico City. I thought that was and that was the they didn't talk about anything else. She is seen, or she kind of gets together with Jack Kennedy, right? Who is now a president, right?
Yes.
Or already newly elected president. And she, she's, I don't want to call her delusional. So I don't know what he made her believe, like that he was going to leave his wife to marry her. But he tells her, she actually calls the White House. She doesn't identify herself as Marilyn, right? And so Jackie recognizes the voice when she picks up the phone. Marilyn, Jackie tells her, Marilyn, you'll marry Jack. That's great, she says, and you'll move into the White House and you'll assume the responsibilities of the First Lady, and I'll move out and you'll have all the problems. So I was like, she knew?
She knew.
She knew. She was aware of what he was doing. So I don't know if it was before or after, or maybe after the president tells her, you're not First Lady material.
Yeah.
And so once again, that drives her to be depressed
and a crisis. Yes. There's a crisis once again.
Yeah, that's it.
331, we hear of Frank Sinatra's involvement in this real life drama.
Yeah, no, really it is.
He invites the president to Palm Springs. He apparently has a property over there, and he spends over $500,000 doing up his Palm Springs estate for the presidential visit. He even builds a helicopter landing pad. He installs a gold plaque in the bedroom, and the plaque says that the president slept here, but then he doesn't show up.
No,
because JFK is briefed and is told that it is not a good idea to be seen with someone who is associated with organized crime, which is Frank Sinatra, who I didn't know. I didn't know he was associated with with Al Capone. Apparently, he had an association with him. I think they were cousins.
So then he ends up staying at Bing Crosby's house, and that I think infuriates Frank Sinatra more too.
On page 332, the relationship between Kennedy and Hoover is mentioned. Hoover has a private lunch with the president during which he bluntly informs his boss that his private life risks going dangerously public. He must keep his trousers zipped.
Yikes.
And Kennedy cuts the lunch short, telling his aide, "Get rid of that bastard. He's the biggest bore." So it was just like, we've seen movies, we've read biographies about these men, and just to imagine these conversations between them, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff, like total real life drama, like I said. On page 334, the weekend at Palm Springs is mentioned. The Secret Service becomes watchful of Marilyn's interest in the president. She was calling him a lot. She wanted to see him. Everyone knew it. One of the agents says, Kennedy tells his friend, George Smathers, Democratic senator from Florida, that he had dismissed Marilyn with an offhand remark, "You're not really First Lady material anyway, Marilyn." Yet her infatuation continues. Fred Otosh makes his living as fact verifier for gossip magazines. 3 years ago, the former LAPD vice detective lost his license to run the Fred Otosh Detective Bureau. So now he is keeping tabs on celebrities as well as Democratic politicians. Former Vice President Richard Nixon and Howard Hughes, the recluse industrialist who once controlled RKO Pictures, wants to know what the Kennedys are up to. Otosh installs bugs in Peter and Pat Kennedy Lawford's place. Pat Kennedy is sister to the Kennedys, and also in Marilyn's house. And this is how they get to listen to all these conversations. And I'm assuming this is how we get a lot of the information we have in this book. Almost there, dear reader. On page 347, Hugh Hefner, again, offers $25,000 for a single shot of Marilyn for his Playboy magazine. And it's a shot of Marilyn, and I Googled it, by the pool in a blue robe. Is it still about nudity? Is that all I'm good for? She says. So they got her to do it again. But it upset her that all this time, after all she had done, that is all they wanted from her. That's why it bothers me that she's buried next to him. I don't know, it like really bugs me.
He was buried next
Yes,
to
and
her.
he was buried next to her because she was there first. Let's see. Marilyn says, I can't sleep. I'm ugly. Nobody loves me. People are only nice to me when they want something I can give them. And it's just so sad, right? She thinks she's ugly. She's desperate for attention. And all Jack Kennedy, or John Kennedy, she calls him Jack. They call him Jack. Is giving her lately is rejection.
That's sad.
One of the things that we didn't talk about is all the plastic surgery that she had.
She did.
So she dyed her hair. She was not a natural blonde. She got work done on her teeth in her early beginnings. Apparently, she also got her chin
and nose.
Yes, and nose. It's mentioned towards the end of these pages. Let's see. And it looks like even her psychologist was abusive to her, at least verbally. Like, so even he did not have the typical role of psychologist or therapist. I was touched on page 357 by the Hollywood sisterhood. So Elizabeth Taylor is sympathetic to Marilyn. Marilyn receives a call from her, even though she was her Fox rival. And Taylor tells her, I know we are not friends, but what's happening to you now has been happening to me for a long time over this Cleopatra situation. So Taylor she says that the cost of her film have threatened to collapse the entire studio. Nevertheless, the Cleopatra star offers Marilyn financial help. If you're in a bad position and you need help, Taylor says, I'll send some money to you. If there's anything you need, anything at all, call me and you will have it within 24 hours. Marilyn is touched by Taylor's offer, as well as her willingness to stage a walkout on Marilyn's behalf. So I just, you hear about the animosity, the rivalry between Hollywood stars, and I just love that we got to see a little bit of the sisterhood in the book as well.
Yeah, because at this point, Marilyn was being threatened by, because it was her last movie that she made, right? I forgot what it was, and she wasn't showing up. So they kept sending her letters. You need to show up. You need to show up. If you don't, we're gonna cancel like your contract. Like they were giving her plenty of notice.
The irony, the movie is called Something's Gotta Give, and it was canceled, like you said. We see on page 358 DiMaggio mentioned again, and it's a very toxic and cyclical relationship with him. Though Marilyn is distraught that this may spell the end of her career, DiMaggio sees it as an opportunity, the removal of an obstacle that was preventing them from being together. So he's still courting her, hoping to get her back all these years later.
He's still hopeful.
She proudly shows him around her new house. He's seen the
Yeah.
house before. He helped her with a down payment after all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a big gift from an ex.
Yeah.
He gives her the down payment for her house.
Yeah.
On page 382, we talked about Bobby Kennedy's involvement in the day before and the day of her death. So I'll just read to you from page 382. Otosh, remember the detective turned private investigator, writes, she said she was passed around like a piece of meat. The attorney general loses control of his tone of voice, which becomes screeching, high-pitched. He's not leaving without finding what he came for, Marilyn's diary, the little red book where she kept all her notes about political things, quote unquote. Where is it? Where the F is it? We have to know. It's important to the family. We can make any arrangements you want. We must find it. Marilyn refuses to answer. She was really screaming. Bobby gets the pillow and he muffles her on the bed to keep the neighbors from hearing. She finally quieted down and then he was looking to get out of there. So,
because we also learned
Yes.
here that she not only had a relationship with the then president,
yes,
also his brother,
yes,
Bobby.
yes.
Dun, dun,
Dun, dun. And finally, on page 385, the question is posed. Was it accidental overdose or was it deliberate? And if so, was it suicide or murder? LAPD Homicide Detective Sergeant Jack Clemens says, it was the most obvious staged death scene I have ever seen. The pill bottles on her bedside table had been arranged in a neat order and the body was deliberately positioned. So, I mean, need we say more? The mystery is still not
Still a
solved.
mystery,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
will it ever be solved? at this
Mhm.
point,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, it's
Poor
like
Marilyn.
all these government, conspiracies.
Yeah.
Maybe
Discussion.
maybe in our lifetime, who knows?
Yeah, but this was it.
Mhm.
The last days of Marilyn Monroe.
Our post-its are flying everywhere, dear reader.
Your post-its, my post-its are
You were
really good
able-
over here, Diane.
You were able to
I was
contain
able to contain-
yours. Yes.
Yeah, so something that we always forget to mention, sorry,
Mhm.
Richard, is if you can like or subscribe.
We're just assuming you're doing it.
We hope you
Yes.
are.
We're assuming you're
Okay,
liking us.
if you
and
got here,
subscribing. Yes.
you do. You like us and you already subscribed. But if you haven't, like and subscribe us,
Yes.
please. And if you have any suggestions for any
Mhm.
books,
Don't be shy.
I'm still
Yes.
thinking for we already have one in mind for the next one. But
this is what we're reading. Join us. Orbital by Samantha Harvey.
Yes.
We'll let you know what it's about.
She
in a
already
couple of days.
finished. I haven't started, but I have it. But yeah. So here it is. Here's our discussion, and thank you for watching us. And
Yes.
happy.
Please
Wednesday.
follow us because reading takes us on adventures, and we're on our
Let me
way
tell you.
to our next adventure.
Yeah, today.
Stay tuned.
Actually,
Bye bye.
take a picture of this. before